from the University of Washington College of the Environment. This is FieldSound.
Hi, everybody. My name is John Meyer. I'm the Senior Director for Marketing and Communications at the College of the Environment at the University of Washington. We're here with Associate Dean Corey Garza. He's the Associate Dean for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion at the College of the Environment. And we've got a few questions for him while we're here at AGU24. So welcome, Corey. Let's see. First of all, you're on the board of directors for AGU, aren't you?
Oh, that's correct.
Yep. And I'm curious how you chose to spend your time on that board. You probably have a choice of many boards that you could spend your time on. Why AGU? What's the value of AGU to you?
Well, AGU, it gives me a venue for talking about my science, just outside of the general sort of research world that I work in. I can also talk it in terms of the value to society more largely. And that was kind of a big sort of motivation for me to go on the board. Is one of the things AGU is really trying to promote is how does our science serve society? And that's a large part of what I've spent the last 4 years on the board helping to work on. Now, the other area is, I'm the Associate Dean for DEI. Also, like, who are we including in science? How do we bring in new perspectives and new talents? And that's the other value of AGU. It lets me sort of engage with the community. That's a lot broader than I get if just hard to reach out in Seattle. So that's a lot of what I've been doing with AGU and the big value that AGU brings to me.
Excellent, because AGU, as we know, is global in reach, and that gets you out of the Seattle sphere. Are you presenting this year, and can you give us a brief overview of what that is?
Yes, I am presenting and facilitating this year. So I spoke on Monday evening about how to sort of increase sort of engagement or recruitment and research opportunities from scientists from Latin American backgrounds. And so what kind of engagement strategies you need for that. We also facilitated a session on community science yesterday with Associate Dean for Academic Affairs, Julia Paris. We're talking about how you can actually engage local communities in impactful science at local scales. And that was a lot of fun to run yesterday. And then this morning, we ran a session on how to engage Hispanic scientists in the U.S. and their communities in climate research. And so that was a really great session where we kind of engaged scientists from all around the U.S. Southwest. And they're actually talking about work they're actually doing in the Southwest. And we even had one scientist who was calling it live from New Zealand on their way down in Antarctica to do climate research down there. So we actually had a really great session. So it's been a great 3 days so far.
That's really cool, and that's what's special about coming together at a place like this, because everyone's in one spot.
Yeah.
So we're about halfway through AGU. Was there something you were particularly looking forward to coming here, and has that already passed? Are you still waiting for that to come? What is it that's most exciting you about this year?
Well, I mean, the booth, clearly. That was very exciting that we're in here today. Actually, on the science half of my career, I'm a close to remote sensing person, works with drones. So I was actually in the remote sensing session this morning. That's actually one of the things I was looking forward to outside of the DI side of things. And then, it's Thursday and Friday. I usually just leave open just to see what's out there. I often just like to go to a session in an area of science that's nowhere near what I work on, just to see kind of what's new and cool out there. And that's actually what I'm looking forward to on Thursday and Friday.
Very cool, a little flexibility. Do you have any advice for newcomers to AGU? This might be their first conference. How do you advise they approach it?
Well, one, pace yourself. It's a long conference. There's a lot that goes on. Two, I talk about that I sometimes go into sessions that aren't actually in my field of study. Go and take a look, explore. You might find something that you didn't think you were interested in. That might find a whole new field for yourself in there as well. The other thing I tell first timers to do, don't be afraid to introduce yourself. We're here in the exhibit hall. This is a great place just to talk to people, what their institutions are like, what their jobs are like, actually what the career fields are like in there. And so, be a little bold when you're here is what I would say. And don't be afraid to introduce yourself. But those would be kind of my piece of advice for newcomers. So,
Excellent. One last question for you. For people unfamiliar with the College of the Environment at the University of Washington, what are you most proud of? What do you think we do really well?
I think what we do really well is we do a lot of different types of science. We do it really well. And we do a lot of type of science that answers a lot of different questions, but involves a lot of different types of people on there. And I think the type of stuff that we do is really kind of leading the way in sort of 21st century environmental science. And I think that's what we do really well. So,
Thanks, Corey. Appreciate your time.